Star Wars fans, with the new Andor trailer, which was amazing by the way, we got some pretty bad news. The Andor show has been delayed from August 31st to September 21st. Now this is a major delay, 3 whole weeks. Why is it being delayed? And should we be concerned as Star Wars fans? Let's get right into all of it right now. What's up guys, Mike Guy, I Love Star Wars here. Today we're talking about the Andor show. I'm so excited for the Andor show, and that's why it's some pretty tough news that it got delayed from August 31st, which was right around the corner, we're already in August now, to September 21st, a whole 3 weeks later. Now a lot of fans are like, that's not the biggest deal in the world, we're getting the first 3 episodes on September 21st, so it's like nothing really happened. But then, why would it be delayed by 3 weeks if we're just going to get the first 3 episodes when it gets released on September 21st? It's not like 3 extra weeks are going to make a huge difference in the world on the CGI or the special effects of the show. No, that's definitely not it. That's not why they would delay the show by just 3 weeks. No, it is not because it doesn't want to come out at the same time as the She-Hulk show, which comes out August 18th, and Disney doesn't want the two to go side by side. They are going side by side. She-Hulk is still going to be running on September 21st, so they're still going to be colliding with each other, and the Obi-Wan Kenobi show collided with Miss Marvel, which for Marvel was a smaller show, but still they were the first 2 shows that were Disney and Marvel that went alongside each other, and there was no real drop-off for either show. And if they were so worried about that, they would be having a show right now, a Marvel show or a Star Wars show right now, so that they wouldn't be on top of each other. They would be going back to back. But Marvel has had so many TV shows announced, and so has Star Wars, the Ahsoka show, The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Andor. The list goes on for days, and at San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel just announced a whole new string of Marvel shows that are Disney Plus shows. So Marvel and Star Wars shows coming out at separate times is just not going to work anymore. They're going to have to collide, and Star Wars fans are going to go watch Star Wars shows, and Marvel fans are going to go watch Marvel shows, but I don't think you're going to lose viewers on either or, because they're just 45 to an hour long each. It's not like you don't have 2 hours to spare in your week to watch 2 different shows. It's not like you only have 1 hour and you could only watch 1 show. So Disney has figured out that that is not a problem. They can run Marvel shows alongside Star Wars shows. So Andor is definitely not running away from She-Hulk. So why did it get delayed by 3 whole weeks? This is a great question, and the answer is a little bit harder than it seems. But I believe that Andor is not running away from She-Hulk, no, but it is running. There is a 3-week delay because of 2 other huge shows that are being released at that exact same time. Amazon Prime has spent the most amount of money ever spent on a TV show to create a new Lord of the Rings show called Rings of Power that does come out on September 2nd. So that would only be a few days after the Andor show, and again, Disney was probably thinking, hey, look, if Andor is going to come out on the 31st and then 2 days later the Rings of Power is going to come out, we're going to lose a lot of viewers. And I won't get too much into it, but a lot of the analytics and stuff behind the Disney Plus shows are that the first 5 days are where they really get the feel of how good a show is going to be, how much views it's going to get. It's really just that Wednesday to the end of the weekend. They see how good the show is going to be, how much traction the show is going to get just off of the first 5 days, because you can't go off of the premiere day. You have to have word of mouth. You have to have people who didn't have time to see it on that Wednesday. So you just go into the weekend, the first 5 days. So if on the 3rd day a Rings of Power show comes out, and a lot of people are like, Andor? I don't even know who Andor is, because he is a smaller character, and they're like, Rings of Power, and if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan or a Hobbit fan, you're going to go watch that. And now just one show I don't think is enough. There is also another show. HBO is having a spin-off show of Game of Thrones called House of the Dragon, and that comes out at almost the exact same time as the Andor show, just a few days before. So now you have 2 pretty highly anticipated shows coming out almost in the exact same week as Andor. So what did Star Wars do? They said, let's run away. And they went 3 weeks later. You're still going to get the first 3 episodes, but 3 weeks later, you're going to get the Andor show. Now, why do I not like this, and why do a lot of Star Wars fans not like this at all? Because Star Wars shouldn't be running from anybody. People should be running from Star Wars. Because there was a time when the prequels were coming out and even when the sequels were coming out where people would move their projects. They'd be like, oh, a Star Wars movie's coming out this year, around this time of this year. We're not going to release a movie around that time. Star Wars is going to take up that whole entire 3-month span in the movies, and nobody's going to want to come see our movie because Star Wars is out. But somewhere, somehow, along this line of Disney Star Wars, we got to this point where the Andor show, which again is one of a lesser character in Star Wars, is running away from a Lord of the Rings show. Is running away from a spin-off show of an HBO Max show. So as a huge Star Wars fan like myself, and as a Star Wars fan like yourself, should we be concerned that Star Wars just doesn't have the feel as it used to, and not like the quality of the stuff we're getting isn't good, because The Mandalorian was great, and the sequels, even though the storyline is iffy, the special effects, the cinematics are amazing. But Star Wars as a brand has been brought down to the bottom. It is running away from Lord of the Rings. It is running away from spin-offs of Game of Thrones. It is not nearly as high up as Marvel even is, and they're owned by the same company, Disney. So I don't know when it happened or where it happened, but it was probably around the time of The Last Jedi and the Solo movie. It was right around that time. You were like, The Force Awakens just made over $1 billion, and it was amazing. Blockbuster, so good. And then it was like Rogue One, probably the best Star Wars film that Disney has created, best Star Wars content, arguably, with Mando Season 2, that Disney has created. And then you had The Last Jedi. And then you had a Solo movie, which I like the Solo movie, but just a back-to-back. Not a lot of people went to see the Solo movie, so it didn't make a lot of money. And then it just went do, and slowly, Star Wars just lost its brand and reputation. People stopped running away from Star Wars. Star Wars just started getting pushed around, and now we have a Star Wars show being delayed by 3 whole weeks, almost a whole month, because of a Lord of the Rings show, because of a Game of Thrones spin-off. Game of Thrones has been around for only like a decade, and you're telling me that Star Wars that's been around for almost 50 years now is running away from it. So I still believe that Andor is going to be amazing, and then we're getting, of course, the Bad Batch Season 2 at the end of this year, Tales of the Jedi, which is going to be very good, and of course we go right into next year with The Mandalorian Season 2 and Ahsoka Tano, and I'm very excited for those shows. But it does hurt me as a Star Wars fan to see Star Wars' brand be taken down so far that it is running away from little bitty shows like The Lord of the Rings and a Game of Thrones spin-off. Now, if you're a big Lord of the Rings fan and you're a big Game of Thrones fan, I don't care. This is Star Wars. This is Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars. So you take your little ring and you take your giant throne made of metal or whatever it is, and you go take a walk, because we're talking about Star Wars. It reminds me of a different time back in 2016 or 2017, I forget what year it was, but when Marvel was having a Civil War movie. It was Iron Man versus Captain America. And they hadn't yet released a release date for the movie. And Batman vs. Superman was coming out. And it was coming out, I think, the first weekend of May. And Marvel went, hey, look, DC, we're way better than you. We've been around for about a decade now, and we are way stronger and have a bigger fan base than you. We're going to put Civil War the weekend before your movie. And what did DC do? They said, yeah, we'll back up our movie. And they backed it up by almost a month, I do believe. So that really angers me. Marvel is huge, and you can't deny that Marvel is huge. And DC should have ran from it, because that is the smart thing to do. But Star Wars. We're talking about Star Wars, the thing that people should be running from. Not Star Wars running from other things. People, companies, they all should be running from Star Wars. Whenever a Star Wars thing is coming out, they'll write that in their own calendar and say, stay away from this date, because that's when Star Wars is out. I don't know. Am I way overreacting on this one? Tell me in the comments below. Are you concerned that Andor was delayed by 3 whole weeks for no good reason? They literally didn't explain it at all. They were just like, with the new trailer, hey, look, it's coming out on September 21st, and you're going to get the first 3 episodes. No explanation, not at all. Didn't say, oh, we had some technical difficulties. No explanation at all. They just delayed it by 3 weeks. And they didn't even tell us they were going to do it. They just put it at the end of a trailer. So if you weren't really paying attention, you could probably be waiting on August 31st for the Andor show to come out, and you'll be severely disappointed. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up as a recommended feed of yours. Easy for you to say. And yes, although the Andor show was delayed by 3 weeks, I'm still looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, I'm very hyped for the Andor show. And if you want to talk Star Wars with Star Wars nerdy people, there is a link to a Discord in the description below called The People Who Love Star Wars if you want to go check that out. And may the Force be with you. Always.